Avoiding onboarding drop-offs. Customers go non-responsive during onboarding. Have you faced that? Well, you're not the only one. And this has been a problem, especially if you have a product which takes some effort from the customer side to adopt, some learning and education. And products are getting complex in general because you're solving more complex problems. So what can you do to avoid onboarding drop-offs? Of course, there is an entire onboarding framework that we have put together, but that aside, and by the way, we'll link that wherever you're supposed to find the text for this video. But that aside, very specifically, some of the things that we've really found out to be very effective to avoid onboarding drop-offs will be, number one, calling out a plan for onboarding with timelines. Of course, plan's going to be specific, but with timelines and getting that sign-off from the business buyer of your product and calling out in that plan the effort which will be required from the customer side. That's one. But calling out timeline, calling out that yes, they need to spend that amount of effort and time, and hence they should be reserving that, and calling out timelines just not in terms of 2 weeks, but rather calling it out in start date and end date. And that sort of gives them exactly what to expect, what timelines to expect. And a lot of times when you're going to put that proposal in front of them, what you'll see that they'll come back to you saying, oh, let's start off this onboarding a couple of weeks later, rather than kicking it off right away. The second thing that we've seen now to make sure that onboarding plan really gets followed is you need SPOCs, single point of contacts for each of those pieces. And although the word SPOC has a single point of contact, but you might have a business SPOC, you might have a technical SPOC, you might have an administrative SPOC, a data ops SPOC, depending on the nature of your product. And those could be some of those key champions that you will develop over time, which will essentially enable all the ingredients to make sure that your customers do not drop off during the onboarding. Setting the right expectations, putting in the plan, getting the sign-off, setting the timelines, and knowing exactly who to reach out to, and getting that agreement right up front before you kick off onboarding itself. Perfect. I hope that was helpful, and thank you. Do let us know what you think. If you have some tricks down your sleeves, something that has worked for you, share it with us, share it with the community, share it with everybody. We'd love to hear your feedback on this. Cheers. Thank you.